Have you ever told yourself, next year will be different? Not out loud, but quietly. Maybe after another performance review that felt polite but empty. Maybe after watching someone your age move ahead in life. Maybe after a night when you sat alone and admitted something didn't feel right. Maybe you looked at your bank account. Or your reflection. Or your routine. And thought, how did I let it stay like this? But then you reassured yourself. I just need more time. I'm figuring it out. My opportunity will come. If you've said that more times than you can count, this story is for you. Because once, there was a man who told himself those words for nearly 3 years straight. Until one ordinary evening. When something shifted. Not externally. Internally. And that shift changed everything. Once upon a time, there was a man named Ethan Cole. Ethan lived in a growing American city, where new apartment buildings rose faster than paychecks. Construction cranes dotted the skyline. Coffee shops multiplied every 6 months. Ambition filled the air. At least on the surface. Ethan was 28. Not old enough to feel behind. Not young enough to ignore it. He worked as an operations assistant at a logistics company just outside downtown. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't terrible. It paid the bills. His job was stable. His manager trusted him. His work was consistent. Reliable. That word followed him everywhere. Reliable employees don't get fired. They also don't get noticed. 3 annual reviews. 3 variations of the same feedback. Strong work ethic. Dependable. Room to grow. Room to grow. Ethan used to hear that phrase as hope. Lately, it sounded like distance. Every morning at 6:45, his alarm went off. He hit snooze. He always meant to stop. He told himself disciplined people woke up earlier. Disciplined people built routines. Disciplined people created opportunity. He wasn't undisciplined. He just wasn't intentional. There's a difference. Or at least, that's what he told himself. His apartment was modest. 2nd floor. Neutral walls. Minimal furniture. He kept it clean. Clutter made him uncomfortable. But something else cluttered his life. Indecision. He wasn't lazy. He just kept postponing the uncomfortable work. Budgeting. Skill building. Applying for promotions. Networking. Training. He always planned to start. Just not today. Lunch breaks were the worst. He would sit in his car with the engine off. And scroll through social media. Friends buying houses. Colleagues announcing certifications. Former classmates launching startups. A caption caught his eye one afternoon. Hard work compounds. Ethan stared at it longer than he meant to. He worked hard. He stayed late when asked. He covered shifts. He fixed mistakes that weren't his. So why didn't his effort compound? Why did it feel like he was standing still? While everyone else accelerated. Comparison didn't shout. It whispered. You should be further. You should have more. You're falling behind. He didn't argue with it. He just closed the app. And told himself his season was coming. It happened without warning. No breakdown. No crisis. Just a Tuesday night. Microwave humming. Laptop half open. Muted television flickering light across the room. Ethan sat on the edge of his bed later than usual. His phone in his hand. He refreshed his inbox. Nothing new. He checked messages. Nothing important. He stared at the screen as if effort alone might summon opportunity. It didn't. That's when the thought formed. Simple. Direct. Unavoidable. No one is coming. He didn't flinch. He didn't panic. But the truth felt heavier than he expected. No recruiter was secretly watching him. No mentor was preparing to reach out. No company was about to discover hidden potential. No friend was going to build his future for him. He had been waiting. Waiting for validation. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for momentum. Waiting for rescue. And waiting had become a habit. Ethan used to describe himself as stuck. It sounded justified. But that night, he reconsidered. Stuck implies force. Passive implies permission. He hadn't been trapped. He had been comfortable. Uncomfortably comfortable. There's a kind of life that doesn't hurt enough to change. And that's the most dangerous kind. He walked to his small desk near the window. Opened a drawer. Pulled out a blank notebook he had bought months ago for new goals. Most pages were untouched. He turned to a clean sheet. Wrote. No one is coming. The words looked final. Then underneath it, he added. Build yourself instead. The sentence didn't inspire him. It confronted him. The next morning, the alarm rang at 5 o'clock. Earlier than usual. His body resisted immediately. 5 more minutes. You deserve rest. You can start Monday. He almost agreed. Almost. But the words from the notebook replayed in his mind. If no one is coming, then waiting is wasting. He swung his legs off the bed. The floor felt colder than usual. That discomfort mattered. Discipline rarely feels dramatic. It feels inconvenient. He made coffee in silence. Opened his laptop. Typed into a search bar. Professional certifications in logistics and operations. For the first time, he wasn't hoping something would find him. He was looking. He created a simple structure. Wake at 5. Train bodyweight in living room. Study 1 hour before work. Track expenses daily. No social media before 9. It looked almost insignificant. That was the point. Grand plans often fail. Small commitments compound. The first week felt unnatural. Push-ups on the living room floor. Planks in silence. Online modules before sunrise. No applause. No dramatic breakthrough. Just repetition. At work, nothing changed immediately. Same desk. Same responsibilities. But Ethan felt different. He listened more carefully in meeting. Asked one extra question. Volunteered for a minor improvement project. Not to impress. To grow. Growth had to become internal before it became visible. By the second week, enthusiasm faded. Fatigue replaced adrenaline. The novelty wore off. This is where most people return to comfort. When progress isn't visible yet. He questioned himself at night. Is this even worth it? What if nothing changes? What if I'm just adding pressure to my life? He almost skipped training one evening. Sat on the couch. Remote in hand. Old routine waiting. But he imagined something uncomfortable. A year from now. Same couch. Same job. Same frustration. That vision disturbed him more than fatigue. He stood up. Turned off the television. Trained anyway. Not because he felt powerful. Because he refused to remain passive. 3 weeks passed. Externally, his life looked the same. Internally, something was rearranging. His posture straightened. He spoke slower, more intentional. He stopped apologizing unnecessarily. He began tracking spending carefully. Reduced impulse purchases. Started building a modest emergency fund. It wasn't impressive. But it was deliberate. He noticed something unexpected. His anxiety decreased. Not because life got easier. Because action replaced speculation. Waiting breeds anxiety. Building breeds control. One evening, stopped at a downtown crosswalk. Ethan watched traffic rush past. People moving with urgency. Construction cranes stretching into the sky. This city didn't pause for anyone. Why had he expected life to pause for him? He realized something profound. He hadn't lacked opportunity. He lacked initiative. That truth wasn't comfortable. But it was empowering. Because initiative can be chosen. That night, back in his apartment, Ethan opened the notebook again. Wrote. Day 21. No fireworks. No external reward. But for the first time in years, he didn't feel like he was waiting for life to begin. It had already begun. Quietly. Through self-discipline. Through personal responsibility. Through resilience in small, unseen moments. He turned off the lamp. Lay down. And stared at the ceiling again. But this time, it didn't feel like a prison. It felt like a starting line. Because when you stop waiting for rescue, you begin building power. If you saw yourself in Ethan tonight. If you've ever told yourself, next year will be different. If you've been waiting for clarity, validation, or rescue. Then this is your moment too. Because the waiting years don't end with motivation. They end with action. Now I want you to do something simple. In the comments. Write. I build. Not for me. For you. A commitment. A declaration. A line in the sand. Because when you type those 2 words, you're choosing discipline over delay. If this story resonated with you, like the video so it reaches someone else who may still be stuck in their waiting years. Share it with someone who needs resilience. More than reassurance. And subscribe to Motivated Stories Hub. Because in hour 2, when growth gets tested, Ethan's new discipline will meet resistance. Momentum will face pressure. And life will test whether this new identity is real or temporary. You don't want to miss what happens next. The waiting years are over. But the real test of resilience is just beginning. Nobody is coming to save you. But that's not bad news. It means the builder is already here. And in the next chapter, life will demand proof. See you in our next video. Thanks for watching Motivated Souls.